Spurs have completely drained me lately. Very frustrated with the way the team's playing. Um, I must admit, after yesterday's performance, after the first half, as soon as the second goal went against Fulham, I stopped watching. Um, I can't. I'm just struggling to watch them at the moment. Spurs. Um, this could be the worst ever season. Arsenal winning the league and Spurs getting relegated, and I don't really care about Arsenal, but I care about Spurs. Spurs are my team. I love Spurs, but I'm really struggling to find a way out with these players. I don't see these players keeping us in the Premier League. Um, I just don't think they have the fight in them to do it. I'm really struggling. We've had some really bad teams over the years. Um, Going back to the 90s, where we were always struggling down at the bottom of the table, but we'd always had players. There's always been flair players in the team, like the Ginola, Klinsmans of the world, that have got us out of the situation. They've always found a bit of magic. But these players, I just don't see it. I just don't. So I don't look at any of them thinking they can get us out of a hole. They just don't. They just don't look up for the fight, and a lot of them just don't look like they want to play for Spurs. A lot of them look like they've checked out, which is very worrying indeed. Um, but it is what it is. Please, drop a comment below, and let's talk football, Spurs in general, and give something to me. Um, Say what you like about Spurs. I really don't know what to say about them. Um, they are. I think we're going down. I think we're getting relegated this season. I hope we don't. But I just don't see a way out of the situation we're in. I've said we'd lose to Fulham. I've said a few times that I think we'll lose. I actually said 2-1. I said on another podcast that we'll lose 2-1. And I was right. We were shocking yesterday. What I saw the match, we were really poor, and I heard the second half we were much better, and we scored a goal out of nothing. But it's hard to see a way out for Tottenham at the moment. We need to beat Palace on Thursday, and Palace can't buy a win at the moment, can they? They are really bad. Palace are. Their manager wants to leave, players want to leave. And they're in a bad situation themselves. But you do know what's going to happen, don't you? It's written in the stars. A player that we sold in January, Brendan Johnson, will come back. He hasn't done anything for Palace, and he'll come back and he'll score against us. I was when Johnson first signed for Spurs, I was a big advocate of him signing. I thought it'd be a good signing for Spurs. But it didn't quite work out. I know he scored 18 goals last season, and that's nothing to be sniffed at. But a lot of them were tap-ins. He didn't really do a lot in the game apart from score. But we would love a player like that right now. And it was a bit bizarre when we sold him. I thought, well, we must be selling him to get someone else in, line someone else up. And when we sold him and we didn't even bring someone else in, I felt it was a bit strange. I thought, what is the point of that? And I'm not saying Johnson, is a great player, because he's not. He has a skill of sticking the ball in the back of the net, being in the right place at the right time, sticking it in, and that's a skill as it is. That's not easy, being in the right place and sticking it in. But he didn't suit Thomas Frank's style. And you've got to respect the manager. If he doesn't suit your style, then he's got to leave. But to then not replace him with anyone, I just don't. It baffles me, this football club. It baffles me what they are doing at this football club. I just don't get it. And everyone wanted Daniel Levy to leave Tottenham, didn't they? Levy was the problem. Everyone wanted him to go. But you start to think whether he was the real issue at Spurs. Because since he's gone, I think we've got a lot worse. I don't think we'd be in the situation we are now if Levy was still in charge. And I'm not saying that Levy wasn't an issue, because he was. He had his own issues, but I don't think he was I'm starting to think he wasn't the main issue at Spurs. So we've got to think. This board, this ownership, have just drained the life out of me as a Spurs fan, drained the life out of all of us, and it is frustrating. We need to find a solution, but what is the solution? Would you want to go down to make sure this ownership leave? But I still don't think they'll leave him if we went down. It's a bit hard to decide what's going to happen. We do need new ownership. I think we have decided that while this ownership's here, nothing is ever going to change, and it's hard to see us where we're going. I don't believe a word they say. This ownership's gonna say all sorts. They'll say, they're gonna change the wage structure or anything. But does anyone really believe that's gonna happen? They've been promising us things for 25 years and not delivered. They've delivered a beautiful stadium, beautiful training ground. But what did Pochettino say back in the day? It's nice having a beautiful house, but if you ain't got the furniture, then basically nothing's going to work, isn't it? And that's what's happening at Spurs. It's an absolute disgrace how this board have let the club get to this situation. And I fear relegation, and it might not be relegation to the Championship. That's bad enough, but we may never get back to the Premier League, or it may take years for us to get back to the Premier League if we go down. So that's the thing. If we go down to League One, Championship isn't easy to get out of, is it? But yes, I don't know what to say. Let me know what you think about the situation. Even if you watch this on repeat later, what do you think about the whole situation at Tottenham? Really, it's a fantastic club. Tottenham are, potentially can go places, do big things, but I just don't see it with their ownership here. I just don't see where we're going. I don't see a plan from them. All I see is lies, lies, lies. They just do not know what they're doing. They're talking out their arse. They just talk absolute rubbish. And I don't get it. And then they brought Tudor in as manager. Now, someone who doesn't have any experience in the Premier League, has experience about getting teams out of trouble, but doesn't have any experience in the Premier League. It's a different beast, and I don't know what they're thinking of. I would have gone to get Harry Redknapp in the summer. People might laugh, but Harry Redknapp, he gets the club. He, plays attacking football, gets the club. Yes, he's 80, hasn't managed for a long time, but he said he'll manage for nothing. I just don't get the thinking of them. Why is Tudor suddenly our saviour? I just don't. I just find it baffling. The ideas of it, and Tudor he just reminds me of Thomas Franks. Nothing changed at Spurs. Nothing's changed. It's the same style, apart from it's a back three he plays, but the football is exactly the same. The football's even worse. We look worse now than we did under Frank, and we were bad under Frank at times. But the last two games, there's Arsenal, we got taken apart for most of it, and it's Fulham. We were shocking yesterday. We must be the only club in Premier League history that doesn't have a new manager bounce. It is unbelievable. We just need to. I don't know what to suggest for us. We're just absolute diabolical. This got to be the worst Spurs side in history. It is unbelievable. I don't see us getting out of it, and you can tell from a lot of those players do not want to be there. You can just tell. They've already checked out. They're probably already speaking to their agents about getting new clubs. But the trouble is, us Spurs fans are stuck with this club forever. No matter what happens, we are still behind this club. Just we love the club. But a lot of those players, you can just tell they don't want to be there. I don't want any player at Spurs who doesn't want to be there. No one, and it doesn't matter who that player is. Van der Ven, I don't care. If he doesn't want to be at the club, then see you later. Don't want him there. It's an absolute. And Romero, he's checked out a long time ago. Why sign a new contract if you don't want to be here? It's an absolute disgrace. Those players, you know, none of them deserve to play for Spurs. Tudor is obviously not improving them. Tudor's probably made them worse. Tudor's made them worse. He just doesn't know the Premier League. He just doesn't understand it. Doesn't understand Spurs. He's probably not realised the kind of mess we're in until he joined. He's probably, for his son, he's probably thinking, what have I got myself into? See you later, I'm out of it. He might be thinking about leaving rather than getting sacked. He might be thinking, oh, I'm done here. And it can't always be the manager's fault. I know I've moaned about Tudor, but it can't always be the manager's fault. Those players have got to take responsibility as well. But I just don't know how. This is just so. Spurs are just so frustrating. They're just completely taking the soul out of enjoying football. Other fans are bantering us now. I've got a mate who's a Man United fan who last season they were just as bad as us, but now they're bantering us, saying, "Oh, I used to be in that situation." We're the joke of the Premier League. We're probably the worst side in the Premier League. Yeah, we're 16th. So, by that we're not the worst side, but we're just, our form is the worst this year since November. Is the worst. Is it 4 points or something since November? That's absolutely shocking. Wolves have got a better record than us in that time. It's an absolute disgrace. Those players just need a reality check. They do. They need an absolute reality check. None of them deserve to play for Spurs. But what do you guys think? Let me know. Let me know what's going on with Spurs. Just what is going on with them. And you know what's going to happen? We're going to go down and Arsenal are going to win the league, which I don't really care about Arsenal. I care about Spurs. But that'll be the way it'll go, won't it? That'll be the way it'll go. Arsenal win the league and we'll go down and we'll be the biggest joke. And last season, I was taking the mickey out of Arsenal fans in a light-hearted way, saying champions of Europe. Obviously, when I knew we weren't champions of Europe, but it was fun to say. Now, they'll be taking the mickey out of us if we go down, even now. Just so frustrating. So frustrating. Just not really good enough. We needed players in January. Where was the business in January? We needed players. We signed Conor Gallagher, who when we signed him, I thought it'd be a good signing. I thought, yeah, top player. I really liked him. But he has been an absolute shambles of signing. I don't get it. We didn't really need him in the summer, in January, but we signed him. I thought, good option to have. But we only signed him because we had injuries. We don't react quick enough. And we signed Sousa, who I actually thought had done all right when he played the other week against Man United. I thought he came on and really done all right. But we've not seen him since. And, give these players a chance. Why have we not seen him? Give him a chance. I think really decent young player. Really probably wants to be at Spurs, play football. So give him a chance. I mean, the players that are playing, the 11 that are playing, clearly not good enough, or their attitude is wrong. They just don't. Their attitude stinks. So give these other players a chance. But not signing anyone on transfer deadline day was the biggest mistake ever from this board. Lange and Vinay have got a lot to answer to. Lange, he said something like he doesn't want to sign anyone. That doesn't improve Tottenham. Well, get someone on loan. That's and any player he signed would have improved us, would have given us options. But we noticed since he's left Villa have done a lot better. And Vinay's coming. What the hell does Vinay do? What's his job? since he's left Arsenal, they've gotten a lot better. So, and there's Arsenal fans saying he's useless. We're an absolute joke of a football club. At least we're better with Paratici, and then he left, didn't he? So I think we are bad in trouble. We are going down. There's no way we're getting out of this. I just don't see where we're going to get wins from. I really don't. I'd love to be wrong, but I just don't see where we're going to get wins. It's going to be hard to get wins, but I really don't see. I don't see where we're going to get wins from. Yeah. Why don't we give youth players a chance? Why don't we give youth players an opportunity? They clearly want to be at Spurs. They're Spurs fans, a lot of these youth players are. They clearly want to be there. So why not give them an opportunity? You might as well do something. Why not bring Mighty Moore back from Rangers? We've got options. We need options. We need players. There's plenty of players. There's plenty of options we can do. Why not sign a left winger in January? Why not let's sign a striker in January? It's ridiculous. Why was Kevin Danzel on the bench yesterday? He's clearly fit enough to be on the bench, so he's fit enough to play in my book. It's just strange. This club is just strange. The manager's strange as well. Oh, sorry, it's a bit hot, guys. Bear with me a sec. It's just a bit. I just don't get the thinking. With anything to do with Tottenham, I just don't get the thinking. Just fucking strange. Give the youth players a chance. Give them the opportunity. There's some real talent in that team. Give them the opportunity. The senior players are an absolute disgrace. None of them deserve to be at Spurs. They're all shocking. And that includes Van der Ven. Van der Ven, he's a good defender, but it's because he's fast. If he wasn't fast, he wouldn't be that good. So yeah, it is so frustrating being a Spurs fan. Very frustrating. But yeah, what do you guys think about the situation at Spurs? I'm very worried about it. I really can't see us getting out of it, but hopefully we get a couple of wins. And yeah, we can plan to next season. But we're in a bit of limbo, a bit of a hard situation. I really don't know what's going on at teams. In the summer, no matter what happens, whether we go down or stay up, we need to find which players want to stay at Spurs, which players want to leave, and the ones that want to leave, see you later. Don't keep any ones that don't want to stay. The ones that want to leave, see you later. The ones that want to stay, the fighters in the team, keep them no matter what. See if they want to stay. Need to get a manager. Hopefully, if we go down with it, it's like a Neil Warnock team, but which will be a joke. But if we got to stay up, bring Pochettino back, we're in absolute shambles at the moment. Really frustrating, an absolute shambles. I thought club Pochettino. I've not really enjoyed Spurs since Pochettino was in charge. But I think we just need to get him back. And yeah, and just I know, and just give him a rebuild. Just give him a rebuild, and yep, just do. We just need to do something. Will Spurs stay up? I'm not sure. I think we'll go down. I don't think we have the mentality for it. The main issues on the pitch, it's just all over. Every single position, I think we're just shotting in. I don't see us in every position. Defence, the midfield, goalkeeper. Vitari needs to go. He's useless. Absolutely shotting its use of a goalkeeper. But we need to changes all over the pitch, and I just don't know. We need a massive rebuild in the summer, whether we stay up or go down. It's so frustrating. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and please drop a like and subscribe. And yep, see you on the next live stream. Thank you for your time. And if you watch it back, and don't forget to always engage and just, give me some feedback. Anyway, have a good night, everyone, and come on, you Spurs.